for thought. According to a recent study conducted by the Avon Longitudinal Study of Parents and Children, diets high in fat, sugar, and processed foods are lowering children's IQ. The report shares that eating habits among 3-year-olds shapes brain performance as they get older. Furthermore, a predominantly processed food diet at the age of 3 is directly linked with lower intelligence at the age of 8.5. What was found is that with every 1-point increase in the study's dietary pattern score, a record of processed fat intake, IQ fell an average of 1.67 points. And so this is just one culinary way that inequality is passed down from generation to generation in America and around the world. Like, we wonder, it's America. We have this dream. We can always do better than our parents did. That is the American dream. And we don't know that we can be sabotaging the futures, the intellectual outcomes of the next generation. Now, obviously, when talking about how this is affecting inequality, personal responsibility is key. But bear in mind the influence of education, time, money, and access. After all, you should hold parents responsible. They're the ones feeding their children. But if they don't have the education, if they don't know what they're supposed to be feeding them because the education system has failed them, or we allow food manufacturers and big conglomerates to fool us into thinking things are healthy when they are indeed not, can we really call them responsible? Or if they do know, but they don't have the money to actually buy high-quality food, then they're left giving low-quality, generally processed foods to their children. Or if they have the education and they have the money, but they're unfortunately stuck in a situation where they have to work 3 or 4 low-paying jobs, then they don't have time to cook homemade meals every day, and so they go with fast food. Or they could have the education, and they could have the money, and they could have the time, but if they live in a food desert, and there's literally nowhere inside of miles of where they live or work where they can buy high-quality, fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, then again, they're going to be stuck with feeding their children foods that are going to set them back later on in life. And when they get older, they're going to be told, you could have just worked a little bit harder. You had the same opportunities that everyone else did. Don't look to the families of the rich and say they had some advantage. You could have done whatever you wanted, even if your brain is permanently stunted by food that you consumed when you were 18 months old. And on the same day that Jeb Bush is saying Americans just need to work a little bit harder. Okay, inequality is everywhere. It's not just about income, and it's not just about individuals. It's a system that touches all of our lives and in many ways actually controls our lives. And we need to be vigilant for it. From the operations of the biggest banks in this country to the food that we feed to the smallest Americans. And that's my final judgment.